What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the Hasbro Transformers Kingdom Series tracks. So this is part of the next wave of deluxe class figures from the Kingdom line. This will be the final part in the trilogy, the Siege, Earthrise, and Kingdom. So I don't know if we're going to be getting more waves of these. We'll probably get something new from Hasbro. They probably don't want to stop the money train right now. But this does come with several other figures, which we'll be looking at and taking a look at a review. Speaking of, there is the Kingdom version of Trax. Here he is. And I usually save this for later, but I just wanted to show, here's the box for Kingdom Trax. I'll put it up on the screen. And you can see the box is new, but unfortunately, the figure is identical. I did go back and look at my video and compare, and this is pretty much 100% identical to the original. So we are going to use it as a comparison, but for the most part, it is the same as the original bot, and he only comes with this one accessory here, which fits into the shoulder or into his hand. I like to put it in the shoulder, but there you go for Kingdom Wheeljack. That review is pretty much over. We'll bring him back in vehicle mode when we go to the vehicle mode for Trax. Here is Trax. You get some really nice paint on this guy, starting on the head. The head is fully painted white. The face is painted red with blue eyes. You've got red and yellow tempoed Autobot logo here. Red and yellow tempoed on the arms. Coming down, you've got the gray paint on the shins, and for whatever reason they used red for the tempoed serial number there. You got white here on the waist. Here's the side. We'll see these more in the vehicle mode, the painted rims. Here's the back. He does have a backpack. It is a little bulky, but Trax figures pretty much always have a backpack here. It is a little bit of see-through as well, but overall pretty good looking figure. He does come with some accessories, so you do get this, which can either mount here on the side of the arm or more appropriately on the top of the backpack here. Then you get this gun here. It's a little bit waffly, but it does look like Trax's original gun, and that can fit into his hand, and now he's got some firepower. Let's go over Trax's articulation. So the gun can swivel up here and pretty much any direction. I mean, it's just on a peg here, so you can really do whatever you like. The head can also swivel here on a ball joint. It gets a little bit of up and down, but it's a little bit hindered based on the sculpt. It goes up to there, down to there, rotates around. You can get it looking up and to the side. The shoulders rotate here. They can be popped off this mushroom peg, so just be careful with that, but you can rotate all the way around. And then reverse butterfly, but nothing forward just because of the way it transforms. Rotation at the bicep. Single jointed elbow gets you 90 degrees, and it pegs in for some reason. I'm not really sure why. Maybe it's just coincidence, but it does peg in at the 90 degree point. Nothing at the wrist other than for transformation. Rotation at the waist. You do have a single hip skirt here, which I don't love because it exposes this ugly joint, but there you go. You get the legs up to there, back to there, out to the side. On friction, they are a little bit on the loose side. Not too bad. I've seen other people worse. You have a 90 degree bend at the knee, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, but these sometimes do pop out. Mine aren't too bad. I can bend the knee here. It doesn't pop out, but some people, it really pops out very easily. You have ankle tilt here. Goes all the way up to there, back to there, forward and backward, all on a ball joint. So you get some nice movement out of that ankle. And for size comparison, there is Trax next to the Kingdom, also same as Earthrise, Wheeljack, and the Earthrise version of Optimus. Looks good, fits in perfectly sized with the rest of the collection. All right, now let's get Trax transformed into his vehicle mode. Go ahead and get the weapons out, set aside. Unfortunately, you do have to take those off for transformation. You can take the hands and fold those in. Kind of a simple, easy thing to do right up front. Unpeg the backpack here. It just pegs in right there. Open up this piece here, and it is translucent plastic, so you want to be careful, but it does feel robust. I don't feel like it's going to break. It's pretty solid plastic there. Come to the chest here, pull this upwards and away from the body, and that'll allow you to take this piece and accordion that down. Then you can push that piece back down. Take the backpack piece here that's going to rotate around and end up sitting on top of the body. And you can kind of leave it like that for now because we're going to work on the legs next. All right, so come to the legs. We're going to rotate at the waist. So we have it facing the other 180 degrees. And this is a part that's probably the more complex part. So you can see there's a little tiny nub right there that's supposed to hold this leg, and that's actually part of the complication. It barely holds on there. Mine is not too bad, but some people have it really bad. And so that's what makes his legs very fiddly. But anyways, go ahead and open up that panel there. You're going to rotate the leg downwards, and then you're going to accordion the entire thing inwards, and then this foot is going to end up rotating up to the top, like so. You can close that panel down. Come up here, just rotate the foot so that's angled upwards. It's going to end up against this piece here anyways. You're going to push this together. It's going to come apart, so you might as well just not do that until later. Same here, open this up. Rotate the foot down. Accordion the leg downwards. Rotating this to the other side. And then pushing down that panel. You can peg the two legs together on the front to make the front of the car. And again, these are going to come out, so you can try to push them in, but they'll probably pop out later. Right? Get this straightened up. You can kind of see how this is going to come together. You can take the top panel here, that's going to fold downwards. There's two tabs right here, they're going to fit underneath here. So make sure you get all that squared away. And it is going to fit down in here. And just make sure you have all the panels lined up. It is a little tricky to make sure you have all of that stuff lined up. And it is translucent plastic, so you want to be careful at the same time. But it does go. It's just kind of awkward in some spots. And this tab is actually really tight. So you got to give it a firm push, but at the same time you want to be careful. I know, that's counterintuitive. There we go. So that's squeezed in together. It didn't break or anything. It just, you do want to be careful because of that translucent plastic. All right, now we'll take care of these arms, which are the last piece here. So we might as well show you the flying part of the vehicle mode since we're almost already in that mode. So the arm should be rotated up like this. The wings are already out, so you can just leave them like that. Go ahead and come to the back here. Take the wings, fold them up and out of the rear. And again, if this has come out, just re-tab it in. It does tend to pop out. Go ahead and take this piece here. That's going to mount to the back here. And then you can take this, and that's going to mount in the middle of that piece there. And there you have Trax in his flying mode. It looks really cool. I really like the way this came out. They did a nice job incorporating the flight mode. Sometimes they cheap out and leave stuff out like this, but you couldn't do it. It's Trax. You got to have it. You get the nice Ottawa Tempo logo there. I do have some scratches on my hood a little bit, but I would imagine that's just from the factory. When I took it out of the box, it did have that one little scratch there. But overall, really nice looking in this mode. I think they did a good job overall. There is no stand port here on the bottom. I guess you could maybe do something with that, but I don't see a flight stand port, unfortunately. So I'm not sure how you would do it. You could probably just fake it, just put something on here and hold it up in flight pose, but there you go for that. You can also take the guns if you don't want them on the back here and put them on the sides. Me personally, I think it looks best up here. All right, to complete the transformation to vehicle mode, go ahead and rotate the arms. You're going to take this whole piece here. That's going to rotate inwards like that. And then you're going to rotate the arm down. There is a little tab here, so that has to go in. And it's a tight little tab. Here we go. Same on this side, rotate the arm up. And then make sure you have the blue part on the outside. And then down, and then tab it into that tab. You can put these wings back down on the rear. And again, if this has come out, make sure you squeeze these back together. And there's tracks in the beautiful Corvette vehicle mode. They did a really good job with this. I'm assuming they changed enough so they didn't need the official license, but it is darn close. That front grille, although slightly off, looks very reminiscent. You do have the flame here. It's missing the yellow. I'm not sure why they didn't do that. Maybe just for cost, but I think they really needed the yellow there. Here's a side view. Back pretty clean. You still see the white parts there, but for that transformation to work, I think it really makes sense. You have the vents here. I mean, it's a really good looking vehicle. The painted wheels come out really nice. Nice translucent blue glass here all the way around. They did a great job on this vehicle mode. You can still, of course, put this here if you want to. And that looks nice. Or we can take this and put it here. Whatever you prefer. Me personally, I prefer it like this. For size comparison, there is the Kingdom tracks next to Kingdom Wheeljack. Pretty much same length and height, but of course, much slender vehicle, which makes sense, you know, as a Corvette, which was smaller than this Lance's Stratos. And for another fun comparison, there is Kingdom tracks next to the Masterpiece tracks version. You can see they really did a good job on this mold. It's pretty close. It's still obviously modified, but it's a nice representation of a Corvette Stingray. Now, other reason I wanted to show this is the front logo is very, very different. You can see the gold here really makes a difference in the vehicle mode. I'm not sure why, maybe cost-cutting procedures. They couldn't add another color here, but I think it definitely could have benefited from some yellow. Now, I'm pretty sure we're going to get some repro labels that'll get that fixed right up. But overall, pretty good representation of tracks in vehicle mode. Final thoughts on Kingdom tracks. Let's start with the positives. I think it looks really good in both the robot mode and the vehicle mode. All the paint and tampo detail and the overall sculpt of this character looks really nice. With the exception of these feet right here, it's kind of ugly, but the way you pose it, you can kind of hide that away. You're not going to really see it. So good looking in both vehicle and the robot mode. I like the accessories. Having two is nice. For a deluxe class, sometimes they cheap out and they do this, and they give you the one. Wheeljack really needed a gun and the shoulder mount, so that's nice that they gave you both this time. On the negatives wise, I think this is just mistake by Hasbro. They really needed to make a better peg here. There's already third-party companies making add-on pieces to basically solidify these legs. Now mine aren't too bad. You can see I can pretty easily pose him. He stands up fine. It's not too loose. He's a little bit loose. The hips are a little bit on the loose side. And then these panels do pop out. But I can bend my knees and it doesn't just flop apart like most people's copies. So if you get lucky like me, you'll probably enjoy this figure. If you get unlucky, you're probably going to have to use some floor polish or something to tighten that up, or buy that third-party, fourth-party kit to improve it. Either way, I recommend this figure. It fits in very nicely with the Earthrise Kingdom line. It looks really good, and it's going to add to your collection of Autobot cars. Unfortunately, he never appeared in the Kingdom cartoon that we just watched on Netflix, so a little strange that they have him under the Kingdom line, but he never actually made an appearance, at least as far as I could tell. I don't remember ever seeing him. So we'll never know whether he's going to be screen accurate or not, but I do recommend it. That's really it for today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.